Delighted to welcome to the interview room the champion golfer of the year, Scottie Scheffler. Scottie, congratulations on a tremendous performance. You played tremendous golf throughout the week, but today you were very calm and collected. Can you tell us just what it means to win this championship and to lift the claret jug?
Yeah, it's a very special feeling. It takes a lot of work to get to this point in my career, and this was a tough week. It was challenging. The golf course was playing really tough, and I had to focus very hard over the course of the weekend. And really the only blemish over the last 36 holes was the double on 8, but did a good job of kind of resetting and coming back with a birdie on 9. And I guess this one was different than the PGA in terms of, I had a decent lead to start the day, but PGA I felt like I struggled a bit on the front 9, and then was able to kind of push forward and win it on the back 9, whereas this one I felt like I built up a lead. It got a little close there after the double on 8, but like I said, bounced back on 9 and was able to keep a pretty sizable lead for most of the day.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll take questions. We'll start with David at the back there, number 3, back right.
Scottie, I've never seen anyone so happy to share the spotlight as you were just then. Did Bennett's arrival make things even more memorable for you?
Yeah, he was trying to get up that hill on the side of the green. I don't think he's ever been up a hill that big before. I felt kind of bad for him. He just kept falling down, but that's part of the learning curve and growing up. And it's very cool to have him here. And he obviously has no clue what's going on. He just wants to spend some time with me. I hadn't really seen him much of the day, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, next question, Doug on the left here.
Scottie, as much as you concentrated on your golf over 4 days, can you share what it's like coming up the 18th with the trophy in hand? It's supposed to be one of the great walks in golf with all the grandstands, the horseshoe. Just what that felt like. Surely it lasted more than 2 minutes, right?
It's hard to tell. It's a very cool walk. It's a very special walk. To be honest with you, walking up 18, I didn't really know if I was going to get that much support from the crowd. The crowd, I think, wanted somebody else to win this week, and I kind of got to play spoiler a little bit, which is fun as well. But it really was. It was a great reception. I heard a lot of the fans supporting me out there today. It was a really cool environment to be able to play in. You had a lot of guys out there supporting, the local favorites, and then you had some people from the States coming out and supporting us, and it was a really interesting day, but it really was a lot of fun.
I'm sure this takes a while to sink in, but do you start to appreciate what you accomplished as you're heading up there?
I think so. I mean, being able to walk up 18 with the tournament in hand is a really tough thing to describe. It's a really cool feeling. I have a lot of gratitude towards being able to accomplish something like this. It's taken a lot of work, and not only a lot of work, but it takes a lot of patience. And I mean, it's a high level of focus over 72 holes of a tournament. And this was, I felt like one of my best performances mentally. We did a really good job of staying in it all week. Like I said, to only have one double, or really only one over par hole over the last 36 holes of a major championship is, that's how you're able to win these tournaments, just being able to do stuff like that. And it takes a high level of focus. And, Teddy and I did a really good job this weekend of being committed to what we're doing and, holding some key putts when I needed them.
Okay, we'll go behind you, Mark, on the left.
Hey, Scott.
Left-hand side.
Congratulations. Speaking of the focus you just talked about, obviously you're pretty stone-faced for four straight rounds. And when it was over, you let out a pretty good yelp. Could you describe that release of emotion? Is it a blackout moment? Do you know, even in that moment what you're doing, and just from then to to seeing your family, and knowing it's done, what that emotion is like? Yeah, I think it, like I said, it takes a high level of focus, and so I had a good sized lead most of the day today, but it's a major championship. You don't know what's going to happen. The golf course is challenging. I mean, I made a double on a hole where I felt like I was going to have a good chance to make a birdie, and you just don't know what's going to happen, and so it doesn't ever really feel like the tournament's won sometimes until the ball's in the hole. Golf's a funny game, and you got to stay focused for the entire tournament, and I did a good job of that. And then when I see my family afterwards, that's a pretty special feeling. It's one that's very hard to describe, but something that I'm very grateful for, and something that I'll hold on to for a long time.
Okay, next question, just here on the left. Yep.
Congratulations, Scottie. Easy question to go back to that quote earlier this week about it's going to be awesome for 2 minutes to win the Open. Obviously, your name appears now alongside some of the great names of this sport. Is it going to be longer than 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think we live now in a day and age of where, clickbait is kind of what people look for, and you can shorten a 5-minute clip into, 3 words. I think really underestimates what I was trying to communicate. Maybe I didn't do as effective of a job of what I would have hoped to in communicating that, but, at the end of the day, I have a tremendous amount of gratitude towards moments like these. I've literally worked my entire life to become somewhat good at this game, to be able to play this game for a living, and it's one of the great joys of my life being able to compete out here, and to be able to win the Open Championship here at Portrush is a feeling that's really hard to describe. I'm very fortunate to be able to come out here and live out my dreams. I grew up a kid in Texas that wanted to play professional golf. I grew up wearing pants to the golf course because that's what I wanted to do. I saw professional golfers like Justin Leonard, Harrison Frazier, those types of guys on TV wearing pants, and I was like, I want to be like those guys. So I used to wear pants to grow up to play golf, and it'd be 100 degrees out. I'd be way too hot. People would make fun of me, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional golfer, so I wore pants. And I don't know why I'm so lucky that I get to live out my dreams, but it's something that I'm very grateful for. And so if somebody's going to listen to the comments I had this week, I would encourage them to listen to all of it. And hopefully I did a good job of communicating that, this is amazing to win the Open Championship, but at the end of the day, having success in life, whether it be in golf or work or whatever it is, that's not what fulfills the deepest desires of your heart. Am I grateful for it? Do I enjoy it? Oh my gosh, yeah, this is a cool feeling. I can't wait to get home and celebrate this championship, with the people that have kind of helped me along the way. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fulfill the deepest desires of my heart. And but it's just tough to describe when you haven't lived it. Something I actually talked to Shane about this week was, just because you win a golf tournament or accomplish something, it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't. Maybe for a few moments, maybe for a few days, but at the end of the day, there's more to life than playing golf. But I'm pretty excited to go home and celebrate this one.
Okay, next question, Jeff, right-hand side.
Sorry to transition to a golf question, but
Love a transition, please.
What went wrong on 16 today?
On 16, it's just a hard hole, I guess.
Seriously, what was your first impression of the hole and making 3 birdies in 4 days?
Yeah, my first impression of the hole was the first day we played it was raining and blowing in out of the left, and I smoked a 3-wood to 30 feet, and I thought it was a pretty amazing shot. And then I was playing against Sam Burns in a practice round, and he hit 3 to about 25 feet and made it, and I was like, shoot, just hit a great shot, and I lost this hole still. But, it's one of the coolest views that I've seen in the game of golf, to be honest with you. Teddy and I were standing there. I think it was on Friday. We were kind of looking out. It was a day in which you had a bunch of rain, and there was rainbows on the other side, and you're looking out over the golf course on the right, and you got the huge bluffs by the ocean, and it's just mounds and hills, and then the town's kind of in the distance, and it's a really, really cool hole. And, I was fortunate to be able to enjoy the walk with a putter versus having to go down there into the ravine and try and hit a wedge out. So I'm very grateful for the tee shots this week. But, yeah, like you said, disappointed with the par today.
Okay, we'll go behind you, number 2. Is that Ron? No, over there. Sorry, Joy, you've got it.
Hey, Scottie. Even a year ago, the only weakness people could find in your game was your putting. But this week was sensational once again with the putter. Can you just tell us how happy you were with your putting and the kind of changes that you have made in the last 1.5 years?
Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of good work with Phil over the last couple of years. Phil is a great guy for me able to bounce stuff off of, and he's a tremendous coach, and he's a great friend as well. And we've made some real good progress. And I felt like I grew up being a great putter. My ball striking wasn't always the best. I felt like I got it done with my short game, especially from a young age, because I was a little guy, basically until I was a junior, senior in high school. So I grew up having to be good at chipping and putting, and then I had a couple years out here on tour where I didn't putt, as well as I felt like I could have, and I knew it was in there. It was just a matter of kind of figuring out the right things to go and find it. And Phil's been just tremendous for me, kind of helped me be more athletic, give me the confidence that I need to go out there and just be committed to what I'm doing. I think if it was 2 or 3 years ago and I had a week like I did last week on the greens where I felt like I was hitting good putts and they weren't going in, and kind of just a frustrating week overall, I would have maybe questioned things or tried something different this week. But basically the conversation was on Monday and Tuesday when I was discussing things with Phil. It was basically like, Phil goes, how'd you feel last week? And I'm like, man, I felt like I did pretty good. I felt like I was hitting my lines, just the ball wasn't going in. And I said, really, the only thing I want to check is make sure that, my setup is good and make sure I'm lined up where I'm lined up at. And, Phil checked it, and we kind of went from there. I was lined up where I thought I was, and so I didn't really put much thought to it, and came out this week and, putted nice.
Okay, next question in the front, please.
Congratulations, Scottie. I don't know if you saw that Tiger's first major win to fourth major win and your first to fourth were both 1,197 days apart. And then Bones made a comparison on the broadcast this week. What does it feel like to know that those comparisons are kind of getting louder and louder?
I mean, I still think they're a bit silly. Tiger won, 15 majors? It's my fourth. Just got 1/4 of the way there. So I think Tiger stands alone in the game of golf. He was inspirational for me growing up, and he was a very, very talented guy, and he was a special person to be able to be as good as he was at the game of golf. And I don't focus on that kind of stuff. That's not what motivates me. I'm not motivated by winning championships, and I don't look at the beginning of the year and just say, hey, I want to win X amount of tournaments. I want to win, whatever it is. I don't do that. I have dreams and aspirations that I think about, but at the end of the day, when I wake up and to practice, I feel like what motivates me is just getting out and, getting to live out my dream. I get to play professional golf, and I feel like I'm called to do it to the best of my ability. And so when I wake up in the morning, I try and put max effort in each day. I get to go out and practice, and when I'm working out, when I'm doing the cold tub and doing recovery, I feel like I'm just called to do it to the best of my ability. And outside of that, I don't place much emphasis on winning tournaments. I don't place much emphasis on things that I can accomplish. It's just mostly about putting in the proper work and coming out here and competing.
Okay, Swami in the middle, and then...
Scottie, somewhat similar question. How often do you think about records won and front-running, big wins, and like some 120 weeks on the top? How much more better can you get? Do you often think about that?
Not really. I think I've always done my best when I'm able to live in the present. And, for instance, looking back on this week, if I just showed up in Memphis thinking that I'm the best and I don't need to practice to be good at golf and just walk in, resting on my accomplishments, I'm probably not going to have a good week. And if I come in, feeling down on myself or thinking about my poor starts this year, then I'm probably not going to be in a good spot as well. So for me, I always rely on the effort that I put in. And when I step on the first tee, I remind myself that I'm prepared, and I just go out and try and compete. That's all I'm focused on. I don't focus on winning the tournament. I don't focus on things that I can accomplish in the game of golf. I just try to get the most out of myself each day and, compete as hard as I can when I'm inside the ropes.
Okay, next question, right hand side there. Yeah.
Scottie, looking at you from the outside, it seems like one of the big priorities of your life is to maintain some kind of semblance of a normal family life, private life, in the face of a very abnormal life where you're very famous and wealthy and everything. We see a lot of people, not just in sports, but music or any other aspect of life, when fame is thrust on them, not know how to do that, or not even know that they have to do that that's something to look out for. So my question to you would be, how did you know that this is, if you agree with the premise, that it's important for you, how did you know it was something you had to do? How were you seemingly prepared for that when you became famous?
No, I think that's a pretty good description. I would say my greatest priorities are my faith and my family. Those come first for me. Golf is third in that, in that order. And, I've said it for a long time. Golf is not how I identify myself. I don't identify myself by winning tournaments, chasing trophies, being famous or whatever it is. Like, when I go home, if I go to there's 2 Chipotles that I eat at home. There's one, well, actually, not really one anymore. There's one right where I grew up. It's kind of near SMU's campus. If I was to go to that Chipotle and try to eat nowadays, it would be very difficult for me. There's another one in a different part of town that I'm not going to tell you where it is. But if I go there, nobody recognizes me ever. And so famous is just one of those things. It's like, in some circles, like, right now, I'm the best player in the world. This week, I was the best player in the world. I'm sitting here with the trophy. We're going to start all over in Memphis, back to even par. The show goes on. And it's hard to describe what it feels like because, I don't feel any different because I've won a golf tournament. This is not this is not the be-all, end-all for me, but I'm extremely grateful for it. I mean, I have, kid you not, I have worked since I was 2 or 3 years old to have a chance to play professional golf for a living. And now I've been able to win tournaments that I just dreamed of playing in. And it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so grateful to be able to live out my dreams. But, you know, like I said, my faith in my family is what's most important to me. And I try to live as normal a life as possible because I feel like a normal guy. I have the same friends I had growing up. I don't think that I'm anything special just because, you know, some weeks I'm better at shooting a lower score than other guys are.
Okay, we're going to close with the 4 questions we've got. We'll start with you in the middle then.
Scottie, congratulations. With 3 out of 4 majors now in the bag, have you let your mind wander even for a second to the US Open next year and a potential career Grand Slam?
I mean, no. I just got off the golf course a few minutes ago. You know, I feel like that's one of those funny things that I think since Rory accomplished that this year, it's on the front of everybody's mind. Just because it is such an historic accomplishment in the game of golf. I mean, what a tremendous thing for Rory to be able to accomplish, to win all 4 major championships is pretty dang special. And, you know, it's for sure a career achievement. But, you know, like I said, I don't focus too much on that stuff. You know, when this season ends after the Ryder Cup for me, I'll get home and I'll assess kind of where my game's at and things I can improve on. And then kind of go from there. I don't think about winning tournaments. I just look at the body of work I have and just think about ways to improve.
Okay, we've got number 3 on the left here.
Scott, yeah, one serious and one slightly flippant question. The first one, as you came up the 18th, they cut to pictures of your Bennett and he was clapping as you came up. And then they also had him with a plastic golf swing. And so I was going to ask, first of all, what's his golf like? Has he already started swinging? And secondly, we're in the mix zone with Rory, and Rory said in a historical context, you could argue that there's maybe only 2 or 3 players in the history of the game that have been on a run like Scottie has for the last 24 to 36 months. It's incredibly impressive. Do you feel that, and what's your response when Rory says things like that?
Well, I guess I'll start with the first part. You know, showing images of Bennett. Yeah, he was clapping. You know, sometimes he claps when he hits a golf ball himself. You know, we tried to show him the sign for more food, but he just thinks it's claps. So that it also means more food. So maybe he was hungry. I don't know. But I have one nephew who's completely obsessed with golf, kind of like how I was at a young age. And we were in the backyard. I think it was maybe during Colonial, maybe it was a little earlier than that, but actually it was during my sister's bachelorette party. So my brother-in-law came and stayed with me with his 2 kids, and Hayes was back there just hitting golf ball after golf ball, and Bennett loves older kids, and so he just kind of looked at him and was like, hey, I want to try that. So he sat down and started swinging the club back and forth, and so I put a golf ball down and he hit it. And you know, to be able to occupy a 1-year-old with anything is probably a pretty good thing for them to be able to just focus on. And you know, he likes it, and you know, he doesn't know what a golf ball is, but he's either eating his golf club or he's hitting something with it, whether it be a piece of furniture or sometimes other kids. You know, we're working on it. But then, so yeah, it's pretty special to be able to celebrate here with my family. And, you know, I hope Bennett's able to get into golf one day. You know, the game of golf's taught me a tremendous amount. You know, I feel like every day you go out and play golf, you're looking in the mirror, and I met some of my best friends through the game of golf. And, you know, it's a very special game. You call penalties on yourself, and I mean, it's just, you learn a lot of good life lessons by playing golf. And so I hope he can play it one day, and I hope he enjoys it as much as I do. But then to your second part, I don't put too much thought to it. You know, like I said, I do my best when I'm living in the present. And right now what that looks like is we're heading back to the States hopefully tonight, and, you know, get back home as quickly as we can and, you know, celebrate this win with the boys at home. And, yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, I'm sorry, we've only got time for one more question, so Michael, go with you at the front.
Really
okay?
Appreciate it. Scottie, can we just go back to the very first minute after you won the championship? You had a very modest response to winning, as you often do. But then when you saw your son, you threw your hat up and you became a different person. I was just wondering if you could walk us through that 1 minute internally.
Yeah, every time I'm able to win a tournament, the first person I always look for is my wife. And where we walk off each day is usually on the right side, and I didn't see her at first, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, where's Meredith? What happened? You know, she's not there. And as I kind of circled around the green, I saw my dad standing there, and I was like, okay, perfect, my family must be down there. And so I saw Meredith, and she's always the first person I want to celebrate with. You know, she knows me better than anybody. That's my best friend. And it takes a lot of work to be able to become good at this game, and I wouldn't be able to do it without her support. You know, she does a tremendous job of taking care of everything for us at home and giving me the ability to put in the amount of time and effort that I put into the game of golf, because it's a lot. And it's not a lifestyle that's suited for everybody. You know, we live a different lifestyle than some of our friends at home, traveling the way we do, but you know, we're very grateful for it. You know, it's a fun life for us, and being able to celebrate winning tournaments like this, I feel like, you know, my whole team, I feel like the whole team their name should be on the trophy with me, because it really does. It takes a village. You know, I have a great team around me, and it all starts with my coach, Randy, and everybody's humble. They work together. Nobody has all the answers, and I feel like we have a great time, and we love being able to practice and work towards these things, and, you know, it'll be even more fun getting home and being able to celebrate.